So for step 29, attaching the front damper. Well, we'll grab our gearbox and suspension piece that we built in a previous step way back when, and we'll add the shock now. And you can see that we just are going to be using a screw and a washer on both sides. It's going through that ball collar that we put into the shock, and it'll attach to the front here. So that's the only hardware we need. So I'll set this up and let's put that shock on. So as you can see, we're going to need to place this here, and if we do it the same way that they're suggesting, which I tend to like to do, these are going to go on either side of the gearbox and it'll fit in between. So let's do one side. So as you can see, we need to put the screw through the ball collar, then there's the washer, and then this is now going to screw into this side. So let's grab our screwdriver and we'll screw it in. Make sure that's going in okay. Yes, it is. And it's got to go in a fair ways, but that makes sense because all of the front is requiring, or I should say, all of the tension that's happening is on this one shock for both the left and right. So it's bound to need to go in quite a ways. And once it rests up against that collar, which you can see it in there, just need to go a little further. There we go. And you don't need to over tighten, and I wouldn't, but you can actually feel when that gets to the end. Yeah. So that ultimately is how it's going to look once it's onto the suspension. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We need to put the screw through the ball collar. We've got a washer that's got to go on the other side. And then this is now going to go into the hole on the suspension. So just make sure that slides all the way through. There we go. And that's got to go into there. There we go. And now we can screw this in. And again, it's quite a distance it's got to go. Okay. Almost at the end. There we go. So there is our front shock. That's pretty wild having a single shock for the front suspension. But it moves really, really well. That's actually nice and smooth. Love it. Okay, well, that's step 29. So we can now move on to step 30, which is attaching the front gearbox. And you can see that we're going to end up having to put in the drive shaft for the front and the rear. And we only need 2 screws and we're into bag D. So we'll get started on step 30.